is no good for a notion salesman.
Board! I'm aboard!
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an annual salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City next!
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the noggins and the piggins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, casket, and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the flour paper.
Look, what do you talk? 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 What do you get? What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk. You can bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk, you can talk. You can talk, 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 talk. Bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk while you want it, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Works the Model T Ford, made the treble beat. The people want to go, want to get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk? Where do you get it? Not the Model T at all. Take a gander at the store, at the modern store, at the present day store, at the present day modern departmentalized grocery store. What do you talk? 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 Where do you get it? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? Where do you get it?
You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, 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 talk. Bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk while you want it, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why, it's you need a biscuit made of trouble. You need to put the crackers in a package, You need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package. Made the cracker barrel obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail pouch cut and plug charmed by a stone. Changed the approach of that traveling salesman, made it pretty hard. No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone with the hogshead, casket, and demijohn.
Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan.
Gone with the tub and the pail and the cheers.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
No! Just a minute. Never heard of any salesman, Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
What's the fella's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line. Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete, or do you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package, or the Model T Ford?
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or a doggone thing. He's just a big beat belly, big Hulk, red gun, necker, nothing rip roaring every time I bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill. Tell us, what's his line?
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory. Look, what do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass. And the piccolo uniform too, with the shot of gold braid on the coat and a big red stripe running right.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a juice heart.
No, the fella sells bands, boys' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him.
Yes, sir. But he doesn't know the territory. River City. We're across the state line into Iowa. Population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in this state. All right, if you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never saw him before in my life, but I know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked a town over, the next salesman to ride gets automatically tarred and feathered and roared out to the city limits on a rail. You think that's funny? Well, wait till it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
Why should he get rode out of town on a rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play.
Well?
And to form them kids into a band with himself as the leader.
What's wrong with that?
He don't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. And he can't tell a bass drum from a pipe organ. I'll catch up with that swindling tuba thimble rigger. And when I do, I'll squeal on him so loud.
Wow, you're mad, Charlie. Sure like to be around here to catch up with that fella.
Well, it won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Not even the great Professor Harold Hill will try to settle them neckbone Hawkeyes out here. Board!
Gentlemen,
You intrigue me. I think I have to give Iowa a try.
Don't believe I caught your name.
Don't believe I dropped it. Excuse me, ma'am. Can you direct me to a fine hotel?
Try the Plaza in Chicago.
Excuse me, sir. Can you direct me to the center of town?
Runs right down through the middle of the street.
What do you folks do around here for fun?
Mind our own business.
We can be cold as our falling thermometers in December if you ask about our weather in July. And we're so by God's summer we can stand touching noses for a week at a time and never see eye to eye.
What the heck? You're welcome.
Join us at the picnic. You can have your fill of all the food you bring yourself.
You really ought to give Iowa a try.
Provided you are contrary.
Good morning, Mayor Shit. Good morning, Mayor Shit.
That is, if you want to go around your drawers all day.
And there I was in the Madison Hospital, and nobody came to see me. Cousin Will never come, Aunt Bertha never come. Your Aunt Bertha's dead. She wouldn't have come anyway.
We can be cold as our falling thermometers in December if you ask about our weather in July. And we're so by God's stubborn we can stand touching noses for a week at a time and never say eye to eye. But we'll give you our shirt and a bat to go with it if your crop should happen to die.
So what the heck? You're welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Even though we may not ever mention it again,
You really ought to give Iowa, Hawkeye, Iowa, Dubuque, Des Moines, Davenport, Marshalltown, Mason City, Cleveland, Ames, Clear Lake. Ought to give Iowa a try.
Ah, Mr. Squires? Yes, I'm interested in a rig for Sunday. If you could accommodate...
Then I expect you better see the man who's in charge of hiring out rigs. Who is late, as usual.
Hey! Gregory!
Marcellus!
Oh, son of a gun!
Oh, shh! But Greg! Professor Hill's the name? Hell,
But Greg, what are you doing here? Why let me know you was coming?
well, I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how do I know you end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in the business with me.
Too many close shaves the way you were. Besides, I got me a nice comfortable girl. Ethel Toffenmeyer, boss's niece.
Ah, gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good.
So what's the new pitch? You're not back to the band business, are you? Last I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was.
What happened?
Somebody actually invented one. Now, give me the lowdown here, Mars.
You'll never get anyone in band business with these stubborn Iowans, Greg. Besides, we got a stuck-up music teacher who expose you before you can get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
Your music teacher? She's a librarian. Female.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. Oh, if she passes by, point her out to me.
I will. How you gonna start the pitch?
Oh, same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance, and then my next step will be to get your town out of the serious trouble it's in.
River City isn't in any trouble.
Then, have to create some. Have to create a desperate need for a boys' band. You remember? Now, what's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing. Except the billiard parlor just put a new pool table.
They never had a pool table here before?
No, just billiards.
That'll do. Oh, I'll talk to you later, Mars. And don't forget, music teacher.
Music teacher, got it.
Ah, you're Mr. Dunlop?
Yep.
Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you're not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a bit player. Sure, my proud to say, always proud to say. I consider that the hours I spend with the cue in my hand are golden. Help me cultivate a horse sense with a cool head and a keen eye. Did you ever try to give an ironclad lead to yourself on my 3-railed billiard shot? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a fault-line game. I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that sloth. The first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. I say versatile. Medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pitchback suit. I'm listening to some big out-of-town Jasper, hearing him tell about horse race gambling. Not a horse shouldn't trot race, no, but a race where it's set down right on the horse. I see some stuck-up giant boy sitting on Dan Patch, making blood boil, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with capital B that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. And all week long, the River City youth be fretting away. I say your young men be fretting away their noontime, summertime, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting damn lights pulled or the screen door patch or the beefsteak pounded. Never mind piping any water to your parents' call with a cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Oh yes, lots and lots of trouble. Thinking of the kids in Knickerbocker, sure tell young ones. Thinking of the pool hall when you're at school, got trouble, folks. Right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. Now I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm going to be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around those halls? Trying out Beagle, trying out Cubans, trying out tailor-made Sykes-Singlet beads, and bragging all about how they're going to cover up a telltale breath with sense. And one fine night, they leave the pool hall, head for the dance in the army, libertine men, and scarlet women, and ragtime. Shameless music that'll drag your son, your daughter, with the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here from the city.
Right here from the city.
With the capital T that rhymes with P and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here from the city.
Right here.
Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school.
Now children's gonna have trouble.
Mothers of River City, heed this warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the cork grid? Is he starting to memorize some jokes out of Captain Billy's whiz-bang? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like swell, aha, a soldier old man. What if so, my friends? We got trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
With the capital T that rhymes with P that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule.
Our children's gonna have trouble.
Oh, we got trouble. You're in terrible, terrible trouble. I gave with the 50 numbered balls and devil's tool.
Devil's tool.
We got trouble, trouble, trouble.
Oh, yes, we got trouble here. We got big, big trouble.
With a T.
Capital T.
That rhymes with P.
That rhymes with P.
That stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
You win that one. I'll only be in town a short while.
Good.
That's you, daughter? Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Fine, dear. Now your exercises?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Mama.
I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama, all evening. Oh, Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh?
Who? I never saw him before.
Well, did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now, don't dawdle, Amaryllis. So, do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep your fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
Well, if you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Well, excuse me for living, but I never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Massey Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But, darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all them other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
The suitcase who may be your very last chance.
Mama, do you think that I'd allow a come and mash it out? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
Oh, I know all about your standards if you don't mind my saying so. There's not a man alive who could hope to measure up to that blend of Paul Bunyan, St. Patton, or Webster. You concocted for yourself and your Irish imagination. I was stubbornness and your library full of books.
Well, that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, you may.
Winthrop, where have you been? It's after dark. Is that any way to walk into a house?
Hello.
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from me boy. And one for your sister, too.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I would especially like it very much if you'd come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to our party. Are you going? Or Ancha?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it.
No, thank you, Amaryllis.
Amaryllis! Amaryllis!
Winthrop!
He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people? Just because he lisps?
It's not just because he lisps, dear. That's just part of it.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him. Every night, I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it, too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
Oh, there, dear, you don't have to cry. You have plenty of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never. I'll end up an old maid like you. Sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my crosshand piece?
May I?
May I play my crosshand piece?
Yes, you may.
See? Without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis. For the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right, that's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my crosshand piece.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone. Sleep tight, my love. Our star is shining its brightest light. For good night, my love. For good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone, good night. True love can be whispered from heart to heart. When lovers are parting, they say. But I must depend on a wish and a star, as long as my heart doesn't know who you are. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone. Good night. Good night. Good
My banners make tyranny tremble when borne by the red, white, and blue. When borne by the red, white, and blue. When borne by the red, white, and blue. Thy banners make tyranny tremble when borne by the red, white, and blue.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife, Eulalie McKechnie-Shin, for leading the singing, and to Ethel Toffenmeyer, our fine player, the piano. As mayor of River City, I welcome you
citizens to the 4th of July exercises set up for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium. Account the weather. 4 score. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. Is some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Wonton Yee girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle, my wife. Then with my wife, you lady Bekekli Shin will take a leading part. The Payne's fireworks spectacle, last days of Pompeii, will take place providing the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out in the Madison Picnic Park in the far meadow across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Ewart. That's why we all prepared for a storm.
The Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know it, J.C.
You wouldn't last very long in the banking business being accurate most of the time.
Just calm down.
Here. Will you members of the school board stop bickering in public?
All the world I was saying.
Never mind. 4 score.
We heard there's a pool table in town.
Just a minute.
Is it a pool table or isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you allow me to get on with the exercises?
We don't want any more exercises till we get this pool table matter settled.
Settled.
Let's protect our children.
Protect our children!
Resist sin and corruption.
Sin and corruption!
Smite that devil and keep our young boys pure.
Pure boys!
Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble, friends, with the wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize a River City Boys Band. Oh, think, my friends, how could any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? La, 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 la. Remember, my friends, with a handful of trumpet players did the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, Billy Pollen walls coming tumbling down. Whole band would do it, my friends, so yes, I mean a boys band, do you hear me? I said River City's gonna have a boys band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand, River City's gonna have a boys band. If sure's the Lord made little green apples, and that band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred. And you'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals, and you'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets. Tan-ta-da! And you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill that I once enjoyed. Winnie Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They're followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There are more than 1,000 reeds, bringing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottomed, timpani, and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell, euphoniums, and big bassoons. Each bassoon having its big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering, louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who improvise a full octave higher than the score.
76 trombones hit the counterpoint, 110 cornets blaze away. To the march, 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 all the kids began to march, and they're marching still right today.
senile people so excited. Since the night Frank Gosh and Strangler Lewis lay on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. Never mind. I want his credentials. Drop that hoodlum! He must blew up Mrs. Tin!
Ah, thank you, Professor. Have to make an example of this one. Ringleader, you know what he does? The gang does.
Chili Cly, let me go! The wild kid, ya! Hang around my oldest girl. His father is one of them day laborers south of town. You wild kid, ya! Tagging down Main Street after my oldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me.
We was just walking together, Jilly Cly.
You want your phraseology. I know it used to my little Gracie Senior. Now you stay away from my oldest girl or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Dill, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band thing. Over at City Hall. It's 10 o'clock sharp. Then, I want his credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
Oh. You don't know this kid. He's tough. And he's got his gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Ah, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about you playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever do anything with perpetual motion?
Almost had it a couple times.
You did? You're my man. Do you realize nobody has ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? No play style. Dang music.
Chili Cly. I wonder where I can get some wire from.
Look in your cellar, son. That's where people keep wire. Oh, Tommy.
Yes, sir?
Constable, I'll show you how to break up a game. Oh, young lady, miss. What's your name?
Zanita, I didn't have any idea you stuck it into me. Egot!
Do you know Tommy Gillis?
Well,
Tommy, this is Zanita. Escort the young lady home.
Only excepting I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. Egot!
Then escort the young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Oh, well, do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
Egot!
You know, Professor, you're a pretty bright young fellow. You made a couple of mistakes, though.
Oh?
The mayor happens to own the billiard parlor and that new pool table.
Oh, what was my other mistake?
That's Anita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Just a minute, Professor Hill. We'd like to see your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates?
Nothing of the kind.
Letters and paper.
Make him put up a bond!
Gentlemen, what do I hear? What do I hear? You, sir, say, ice cream.
Ice cream? But I don't sing them.
All right. Talk then. Down here.
Ice cream.
Oh, talk slow.
Ice cream.
See? Singing is only sustained talking. Now you. Ice cream. Now you right here. Ice cream. Now you, sir. Ice cream. Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of those men without the other three.
Oh, Professor, you're wrong. Why, these men have hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream.
How can there be
Any sin insincere? Where is the good in goodbye, in goodbye? Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify, tell me what can be fair in farewell, dear, while one single star shines above.
don't suppose you live alone or anything?
No.
I got some wonderful caramels over at the hotel if you'd like to.
Mr. Hill.
Ah? Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women in the street? Like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Derry, Indiana, gold medal class of Lot 5.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not so easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town, and I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there which may very well give me some interesting information about you.
Hey, Gregory!
Oh, hi, Marcellus. And don't call me Greg.
How'd you make out the music teacher?
Scrumptious. Ate out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
She did? Boy, did you come spot tonight. For a minute, even I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like when you used to imitate that band fella back in Joplin.
Oh, yeah. Da-dee-da-da-da. All kids stuff. I'm in rare form these days, son. Just keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? But it used to take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Oh, it still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Uniforms? Oh no, Greg, you haven't added uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. I mean, not for any 4 weeks.
Now, Marcellus.
But you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the think system, where you don't bother with notes.
But in 4 weeks, people are gonna want to hear music, and you're gonna have to lead a band.
But when the uniforms arrive, they'll forget everything else. Well, at least long enough for me to collect and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son. And I got it timed right down to the last wave of the brake man's hand on the last train out of town. And now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
Gonna line yourself up a little canoodling, huh?
Well,
Say, I can set you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely girl. Teaches Sunday school.
No wide-eyed, eager, wholesome, innocent Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of gal spins webs no spider ever. Now listen, boy. A girl who trades in all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. The only affirmative she will file. First of marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine guys. No, sir. For no Diana do I play fawn, I can tell you that right now. I snarl, I hiss, how can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, I fizz, for the lady who knows what time it is. I cheer, and I rave, for the virtue I'm too late to say. Decide what wise a girl for me. Mademoiselle. Marcellus.
Oops.
No bright-eyed, blushing, bloodless baby, oh baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties knots no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No doing young miss who keeps resisting. All the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. Oh, no, sir, for she's the fisherman, I'm the fish you see. Walk, I flinch, I shy. When the lass with the delicate hand goes by, I smile, I grin. For the gal of touch of sin walks in, I hope and I pray for Hester to win just one more aid. The sad but wise girl's the girl for me. The sadder but wise girl for me.
And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes?
I'm reticent.
Yes, of course, Mrs. Shin, I understand. But you see, part of my music plans include a committee on the dance, and well, that can... No! Do that again, Mrs. Shin. No, your foot. The way you raised it just now.
I have a bunny in there that bothers me, but I...
Oh, what grace! No natural flow of rhythm. What expression of line and movement.
Mr. Hill.
Oh, you must accept the chairmanship for the ladies' auxiliary for the classic dance. Mustn't she, lady? Every move you make, Mrs. Shin, bespeaks Del Sol. Will you? Will you? Oh, please say yes, Mrs. Shin.
You lady my technician. Well, that is dancing. Well.
Then, you accept.
Yes, indeed. And I would like to say
Thank you. Now, the young lady who plays the piano, Marion Prue, I believe. After all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 chip.
yes, sir. That kind of woman doesn't belong on any committee. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books?
Chaucer, Rabelais,
Balzac. And the worst part, of course, I shouldn't tell you this.
I'll tell. Man lived on my street, let me tell.
I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town until she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison.
Miser Madison? Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park, Madison Hospital? That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who do you think he was anyway?
Well, I should say, show off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died from the library building to the city,
But he left all the books to her. She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That woman made brazen overtures with a guilt I guarantee. She had a golden glint in her eye and a silver voice with a cap that ring. Just melt her down and you'll feel a lump of lead as cold as steel. Here, where a woman's heart should be. He left River City, the library building, but he left all the books to her. Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac.
Just a minute, Professor. We need to see your credentials. Oh, yes, of course, gentlemen. I have what you need over at the hotel. Come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave you now. It's all right. I know everything, and it doesn't make any difference.
What are you talking about?
You were probably very young. Anyone can make a mistake.
What?
No apologies, no explanations, please. I'll only be in town a short while, and the sight of a wiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
What would you like to take out?
The library! Shh! The librarian. You're not listening, Mary. Look. Marian. Marbles. 6 dealies, 8 aggies, a dozen peawees, and 1 big lassie with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop. No! Out of my brain. What can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer host brigade men had to whisper the news to Marian. Out of my brain. What can I say, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marian, if I stumble and I busted my whatchamacallit, I can line your 4-1 notice, so my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. Now in the moonlight, a man could sing it. In the moonlight, and a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song. With the moonlight helping along. But when I tried in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin. I'm talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, madam librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win. What the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin. I'm talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights. Madam librarian, marshmallow. Well, Tommy, we had a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. Tell you what, it's almost noon. You better go home and get some dinner. I'll try a couple by myself.
You mean you're going in there?
Well, I don't see any quarantine sign.
I gotta hand it to you, Professor.
I'll see you later, Tommy.
I hope. Coming.
Is it Bill? Are you soliciting? You haven't got a license.
Why, no, Mershin. I collect doorbells. This particular specimen has an unusual tone quality that just rings out.
Sorcery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county. Now, this is not a permit. Why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references?
I just missed you, Mayor. Oh, no. Your hat.
What?
The spread of the little finger. It's hereditary.
Oh, it is? What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good? It means that America has at last produced an artist who can flugle the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
How can I get one of those horns?
Sign here, Mr. Mayor. That'll be $15 import.
Yes, sir. Just think I could have missed this whole thing. My son could. I haven't got any son.
Oh, George.
I never had a son.
I never said you did.
How do you know?
I would certainly know if I had a son or not.
I wasn't talking to you.
Who are you talking to?
Him.
Who?
You want frightless fruit like. You want frightless. Never mind.
Mrs. Brew, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
If your boy has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, by George, not of course he could ever be really great, you understand.
Oh, and in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, all the really great cornet players are Irish. O. Clark, O. Mendez, O. Klein.
But, Professor, we are Irish!
No, really? Well, that clinches it then. Sign here, Mrs. Prue. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Thank you. And of course, I need the boy's measurements for his band uniform.
His uniform?
Oh, of course. Of course, his uniform. And there won't be a penny due till delivery.
Would it have
A stripe? Certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe on each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day. even to us. But if you get him to play in the band, well, you'll have St. Michael's Inn away with you. Where are you from, me boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it, what'd you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Was she now?
Yes, of course. Gold medal class of arts 5. And how to do, Miss Peru?
How do you do, Mr. Hill?
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy may have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know.
Ah, your husband musical? Well, I'd like to have a talk with him. I'm sure
Do you burst in on everyone's homes like this? Prying into personal affairs? We're not interested.
Marion!
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
I'm sorry. But that's all the more reason why your brother should have
My
something
brother
like this.
is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years.
I'm sorry.
Now, as to musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks? Well, Miss Peru, you hardly... Well, I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Oh, just keep me alive and I'll be back later in the week.
Oh, Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She hasn't really been
Please,
herself.
don't worry about a thing. I'm sure that at heart she's as lovely as yourself. Good day, Tia. Uda Peru.
Has he gone?
He has. And I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think about your future? Gary, Indiana. Conservation class of 5. Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing traveling man who comes to town.
All right, darling. All right. Only it's a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire. Mama!
Winthrop! Winthrop, I know you're there! Please go to the library and ask Mrs. Grubbs to give you the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910.
Do I have to?
You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now what are you up to?
I have a feeling that the Indiana Journal may help me poke some very large holes in the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, what kind of white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Greener, who backs into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does.
Or Ed Gamage, and that buggy of his with a removable back seat. But I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor, either.
My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. Please, dear Venus, show me now. All I want is a plain man. All what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great. Him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, let me walk with him where the others ride by, walk and love him till I die, till I
Zanita! Hey, Zanita!
Tommy, Papa and Mom are sitting right there in the bank. You gods!
All right, meet me after supper.
I can't. It's Epworth League night. Meet you where?
The footbridge.
You see? Isn't that just what I said? First the lumberyard, now the footbridge. Where will you meet me after that? The black hole of Calcutta? You gods!
I only want to show you my invention.
What invention?
It's a music holder for a marching piccolo player. It still has a couple of minor flaws. You see, when you hold it tight enough to keep the music steady, you cut off your circulation and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Are you coming, George?
Tommy's Papa.
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing I said, or Allie Hay with the horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials, I said, morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look. My wife is off dancing at any and all hours instead of in the home.
But George!
The school board is off singing up street and down alley instead of tending to city matters. And my oldest girl is off fooling around with some wild kid, and my business is falling off so far, I can't find the balance sheets.
Mayor Shin, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
Is who?
His university.
I know all about that. In fact, that's the only thing I ever get out of him. A Gary Conservatory, class of Art 5.
Well, if you just take a minute to read a bit about the conservatory, I don't think you'll have to look much further. It's on page 600.
Papa! The Wells Fargo wagon has just gone out the depot!
Wells Fargo? On a Saturday? Nonsense. The Wells Fargo wagon.
It could be the band instruments!
The band instruments?
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, please let it be before me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
I got a box of maple sugar on my birthday. In March I got a gray Mackinac. In once I got some grapefruit from Tampa.
Montgomery Ward sent me a bathtub and a crosscut saw.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down. Is it a prepaid surprise for COD?
It could be curtains or dishes or a double boiler.
Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. It surely could be. Something very, very special now. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, don't let him pass my door. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for.
I got some salmon from Seattle last September, and I expect a new rocking chair.
I hope I get my raisins from Fresno. The DAR has sent a cannon for the courthouse square.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming now. I don't know how I can ever wait to see. Could be something for someone who is no relation, but it could be.
Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. It surely could be.
Something special.
Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Are you ready?
interrupt.
My cornet, thanks, Professor.
Men, you will each receive individual instructions in due course. In the meantime, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da, la-di-da.
Sister, isn't this the most scrumptious all gold thing I ever saw? I never thought I'd ever see anything so scrumptious as a scrumptious all gold thing. Oh, sister!
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by-God tootin' out of them horns in pretty short order, too, or I'll see in front of grand jury over county seat. Miss Marion, about that book.
Come, George! Tempus fugit.
You watch your phraseology. Get along if you have to. I gotta get something to the librarian. About that book.
The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school.
Don't dally. Let's commence with our posture exercises. And begin. Lovely, ladies, lovely. Ethel, pick up your feet. Wonderful. Now turn. Take the body with you. Oh, lovely, lovely. Gently, ladies, gently. nicely, like butterflies. And the arms, now the arms. Good, wonderful. Now, let's have a go at our Grecian urn. 1, Grecian urn. 2, Grecian urn. And a fountain. Trickle, 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 trickle. Lovely ladies, splendid. I predict our Del Star display will be the highlight of the ice cream social. Gentlemen, if you're ready. And remember, gentlemen, don't make me say this again. Always keep your faces to the audience.
It's you in the sunrise. It's you in my car. It's you all the way into town. It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me up. And it's your gotta go, dear, that gets me down. It's you on my pillow in all of my dreams, till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner, or truer, or plainer than it's you? It's you. Yes, it's you. Oh, yes, it's you.
Come on, Professor. Why don't you show us one of those new dance steps?
Why, certainly, Tommy. Sunita.
Get your hands off my daughter! Medicine! Your Honor. Your daughter and I are going steady behind your back.
Why, you-
We'd rather do it in front of your back. but-
Do what? Never mind.
Selina's scared of you, but I'm not. How'd you think you'd hate to have your own daughter scared of you? Chilly Clyde.
I'm going to warn you once more. If I ever see you touching my daughter again, I'll buy God horse pimping till hell won't happen.
George!
That one poop out of you, madam.
I think he means peep.
Yes, now get out of this public building.
I got as much right to be in a public building as anybody.
Right? You get it right around here, aiding and abetting the swinging activities of this spellbinding symbol salesman. You know what I see written all over you? A reform school. Now get out. Get out, you wild kid.
Papa, please. It's capulets like you that make blood in the marketplace. Ain't wrong.
You watch your phraseology. You lady?
Yes, Judge, I only wish...
You send your dance.
Dance?
Mercy, if I could just make you understand.
Well, you can't. By the way, thanks for nothing. I read this book from cover to cover for a whole week now. And find a thing.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am. If you please. I want you to know, I'm vouching for Tommy G. List. That boy's got the confidence of every kid in town. You'll be standing in line, waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
And by the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members of the foregather in wheelchairs and the broken legs they'll get from tripping over their beards. I'll tell you something, my fine young feathered young... Never mind.
Is Jason, Oliver, Edward Alden. I want his references, and I want them tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slippier than a Mississippi surgeon.
Do you mean you want us to, get his credentials?
Get his papers or get him in jail. Couldn't make myself any clearer by his butt hook in the well water.
Professor Hill, I think Mershin behaved abominably. I think it was wonderful of you to come to Tommy's defense.
Oh, no, it was nothing.
Well, yes, it was.
Oh, no. A man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths. The brave man only 500? Well, of course, the mayor was pretty mad on account of his billiard parlor. Oh, I don't suppose a recommendation from a musical authority like yourself would help, but I think I couldn't ask you to do a thing like that.
Why, Professor Hill?
You would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been wanting to talk to you about Winthrop's cornet.
Ah, his cornet. Mother Pearl Keys.
I'm sure it's fine, but you see, he never touches it. Oh, the first week or so, he made a few experimental blats, I guess you'd say.
Yes, blats.
And he sings the minuet in G almost constantly.
Ah, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da.
But he never touches the cornet. He
Well.
said he told me it wasn't necessary. He tells me about some think system. If he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor.
Oh, now, Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary method, I'll admit. So was Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus's conception of the egg, globe, Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I cannot discuss these things here in public, but if you allow me to call, when may I call?
Any night this week.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, chip, chip. Come on, pick a little more, pick a little more, spin, spin. Come on, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little,
Please, Rodell, sorry, you're so lovely dancing with Professor Hillchip. You dance like a fairy princess with the moonbeam for your floor, with a golden shimmer in your hair and silver shoes for all to see. We know that you will soon unfold a giving heart, purest gold tears. Your woman's heart should be fairy princess, moonbeam floors, golden shimmer, silver shoes. Now unfold, heart of gold, here where woman's heart should be. The professor told us to read those books, and we simply adore them all. Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac.
Sorry, Professor. We got our orders. We're all being deputized.
Ah, yes. Congratulations. Let's see now. You know, all week I've been trying to give you fellas my references and credentials, but you seem to get off the subject somehow. Have what you need over at the hotel. Just take me a second.
Sorry for not to go along with you.
Yes, well, let's see if I have my keys. Oh, what's this? A testimonial from Madame Rini, the first female bassoon player to ever appear on the Red Pat circuit. Her stage name was, actually, she was from Moline. Live Rose Quack.
If I could just see that
Oh,
for
no. You'll never forget the name. Lyda Rose. Same as the old song. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in the sky. Lyda
Lila roams on home in rows to get the sun back in my sky. Lila rolls on home in rows about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, and the list suggestion of the questions. Lila roams on home in rows without a sweetheart to my name. Lila's rolled now, everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same. So here's my love song, not fancy or fine. Lila Rose, oh, won't you be my Rose, Rose.
Will you ever stop arguing with yourself? Will you ever tell him? Won't you ever tell him? Yes. No. Fiddlesticks, just open your mouth and let it come out. Now, Mom. Now, nothing. If he ever comes to call again, you'll see him alone. And if you haven't got the gumption to tell him how you feel... Tell him? Well, there's nothing wrong with a ladylike hint. Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing.
Fishing?
With Harold.
You mean Professor Hill?
Mm-hmm. And look, I still have some words left.
Did you have a good time?
Scrumptious. And he told me all about his hometown, Gary, Indiana. And he said he'd take me there someday. And he taught me a song that hardly has any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. That's the town to do me well. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happen on the delegate think you pay for. I would say that I'm going ahead and take you on. There's just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana. There's a grand New York road. But Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happen on the delegate think you pay for. I would say that I'm going ahead and take you. There's just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Not Louisiana. Paris, France, New York, or Rome. But Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. My home sweet home. I'll be right back. I have to show Amaryllis my live words.
Leave the dishes, Mama. I'll do them.
Don't you have to change for the sociable?
There's time for that later.
Shins live around here somewhere.
The Shins live on Eastham. This is Westham.
Ah, criminy. Oh, I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know about this fella Harold forming a boys' band here?
Yes?
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindling two-bit thimble rigger. That's why I got to see shit, just passing through. Number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop. Wish it was 20. Would sure like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, girly girl.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cowell, animal salesman. But just now, not to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That fella's been the raspberry seed my wisdom to just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me. He's not going to spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through him? Why, he's no more professor than you are.
Oh, I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine director and his scholastic...
Now, wait a minute. Fine director? Have you heard one note of music from any band?
Well, no, but that's
But
not...
nothing, girly girl. He never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
If you just listen to me for 1 minute...
I'd like to. I'd do more than that if I had the time. Sure got the inclination. But I gotta get back on that train, and I gotta leave this dynamite to somebody on the way to the depot.
You'll never make the train to the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I've got to leave word. And I can see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Just a minute. Mr. Cowell, you don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have limited appeal, you know. Oh, what am I doing? I missed that train. I'll get fired, and I gotta leave word about that fella Hill.
Leave word with me!
Not on your tin time. How do I know you deliver these letters?
Try me. There's your train. Now run for it.
Why, you double-dealing little... Who do you think you're protecting? That guy's got a girl in every county in Illinois, and he's taken away from every one of them. That's 102 counties. Not counting the piano teachers like you he cozies up to. Keep their mouths shut. Neither one of you's heard the last of me, girly girl.
Marion, who was you just talking to just now? Ah, Professor Hill!
Ah, Mrs. Sparrow, top of the evening. Miss Marion?
Oh! Why don't you and Marion come up and have a set? I've got some jelly on the stove. There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we set? Has your mother set?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Did I? I didn't mean anything by...
Now, Miss Marion, I'm not suggesting your invitation referred to anything but academic enlightenment. The think system? I've been by your house trying to explain it to you a time or two this week, but there's always seemed to be people around, mostly ladies, I thought.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Oh, good. Wouldn't want anyone beating my time? You wouldn't? No, ma'am. Well, it's evidently not the convenient night. I'll see you at the sociable later.
Professor Hill, is it really true that you've had 100? What I'm trying to say is...
Yes?
Is it really true that you've developed a think system?
A what? Oh! Think system! Yes! Yes! It's very simple. As simple as whistling. Nobody has to show you how to use your lips in whistling. You just have to think of a tune and have it come out clearly here. Now just take me a second before you
I
ask.
take your word.
Can we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
I dare say you meet dozens, even 100.
Well, I do.
Are they all as fascinated as I am with the think system?
Some more, some less. This one young lady showed me the same system before I got to her town. She showed me a few refinements that just...
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Well, please don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. I'm sure you must have many more important things to do than to explain the think system to me.
Can't think of one.
And I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesman.
Oh, what have you heard?
Nothing about you personally, just generally.
Oh, what have you heard generally?
Well, of course it stands to reason. I mean, disappointment and jealousy can... I mean, take you, for instance. Your attentions to customers, well, teachers might be easily misinterpreted, mightn't they? I mean, honestly now, mightn't they?
Why?
So you see, if another salesman or someone were jealous of me, well, they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Yes,
So it just goes to show that you can never believe everything you hear. I mean, if you discuss things...
Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But could we do it sitting down? You do sit, your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
We could also sit on a large hollow log over at the footbridge.
Oh, I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk.
I've got to dress for the sociable.
Then meet me there in 1 hour.
I just can't. Please, some other time. Maybe tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, pile up enough tomorrows, and you find you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I like to make today worth remembering.
So would I.
The footbridge. 1 hour.
1 hour. Mama! What? I just told Professor Hill I made him at the footbridge in an hour. Glory be and the saints be praised! It works! What does? I've been using the kink system on you from the parlor.
Come on, everybody! It's time for the Shapoopy! One who kisses on the very first date is usually a hussy. One woman who waits to sit time out for anything but fussy. One woman who kisses on the third time round, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. She's your glad you found. She's your Shapoopy, 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 Shapoopy.
The girl who's like to dance.
Shapoopy, Shapoopy, Shapoopy.
But you can't play her yet.
One girl wants to raise a curtain, one ride twice a day, certain. Once more to flower garden, never get sore, beg a pardon.
So maybe for Felicity girl, you also want me, Rachel.
Rachel once is looking, guess me back, fancy cooking. Once more for a fast broken,
5 minutes. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 5 minutes.
I mean that you were, well, let's say, about 26 years late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with the phone?
If you want to know the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I suppose when at the first I find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Oh, now, Miss Marion, you mustn't think I've been selling you anything.
No, you've given me something. That's why I decided to come.
I don't recall giving you
Oh,
anything.
yes, you have. Something beautiful. That's why I came, and I'm glad. Well, please don't be afraid that I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. I know there have been many ports of call, and there will be many more. But that's no reason for me not to be grateful for what you all have left behind. For me.
Marion,
There were birds on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky,
There's a lot of things you don't know about me.
Hey, Greg!
I'm expecting a cable from Hector Berlioz. This could be it. Now what?
Who's a salesman here? Sounds like she's selling and you're buying it.
How to keep her off balance, I told you
She's
that.
so far off balance, you can't tell between a catboat and a hurricane. Listen, the uniforms came in on the train. Tommy helped me collect. Here's most of the dough. People will be screaming for music, and you've got to get out of here.
What time's the freight go?
9:40 from the junction.
Well, it's only 8:30.
Look, if you want to turn the wheel and get yourself caught in a bunny trap, that's fine by me. You go ahead.
Okay, Marcellus. I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Now go. Never a peaceful moment in the music business. Now then, where were we?
You were about to tell me what I don't know about you.
Oh. Yes. We don't have to go into that now, do we?
No, we don't. Or ever, for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt much like doing research lately, but she did plenty when you first arrived.
Oh, about what?
About Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory Gold Medal Class of '05. Harold, there wasn't any Gary Conservatory in '05.
Why, there certainly
because
was.
the town wasn't even built until '06.
You knew all the time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came. I tore these pages out of the Indiana Journal. They were originally intended to use against you, but now I give them to you. With all my heart.
Wait, but if you knew, why didn't you? Why, you little... With 110 cornets played the air, and I modestly took my place as the one and only bass, and I oomped up and down the square.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our star is shining its brightest light.
There were horns of every shape and sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be.
While 110 cornets played the air.
I wish I may, and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone good. Good night.
Swindled out of your eye teeth right now? This minute? There's a burglar in the bedroom while you're fiddling in the parlor. I'm talking about Harold Hill. Road agent, highwayman, pickpocket.
Pickpocket?
Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister. And yours, madam. And yours, little lady, ever since the first moment he came to this town. There's more documented evidence than you ever have time to read. There isn't any band. There never has been any band, and there never will be any band. And if you don't hunt this man down right now like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now will you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
Money back! I want his hide! After him! When you find us, bring it to the school! Them! It's after him! It's trying to quit! Find the bill! Back to the trip!
Looking all over for you. Oh, where have you been?
Harold, I've been looking for Winthrop. He's run off. Please go, Harold, please. They're even talking about tar and feathers.
Oh, I haven't talked to you. That's...
It's all right. Don't you know that? You don't owe me a word, not a word. Now, please, hurry, please.
Greg! He isn't anywhere down here. Let's go check it out by the creek.
Winthrop!
Whoa, wait a minute here, son.
I'm not your son. Leave going.
Not until I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You wouldn't tell the truth anyway.
I would too.
Would not.
Would too. Tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
Yes.
Leave go, you big liar!
What's the matter? You wanted the truth now, did you? No, I'm bigger than you. You're gonna stand here and get it all, so you might as well quit wiggling. Now, there's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the first. That's why I wanted you in the band, so you quit moping around, feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, now that I think of it, it's none of your business.
I wish you never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister, you believe him?
I believe everything he's ever said.
But he promised us.
I know what he promised us, and it all happened. Just like he said. The lights, the flags, and the colors, and the symbols.
Where was all that?
In the way every kid walked around town this summer and looked and acted. Especially you. And the parents, too. Does Mama wish he'd never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No, Winthrop. Now go, Harold, please.
Go on, Professor. Hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
For the first time in my life, got my foot caught in the door. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Greg! Get here! Go that way!
Go that way! That way! Go, Professor! That way! Go that way, Professor! That way! That way!
me remind you that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening. It's from happening. Ford score!
When are we going to get our money back?
$300 for uniforms just tonight.
Yeah!
And we haven't even seen them in uniforms yet.
Livery, I told you.
I haven't seen any uniform or my boy since just after supper.
Yeah!
He's a kidnapper.
Fine situation here.
Four score and in just a minute, virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, as I have heard, who are collecting tar and melting feathers, I will not say their name.
Well, I should think there ought to be some of us who could forget our everlasting Iowa stubborn chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely some of us ought to be grateful for what he's brought to River City. And if so, I should think you'd want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's a person in this hall who doesn't think this man Hill should be tarred and feathered, let him stand up. You ladies, sit down. The rest here is standing there like a goat shot by a sheep. Have you people forgotten how you bought expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, high-priced band instruments? Have you people forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your children would be taught to play in the band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band?
Think, men. Think.
That's my party. That's Cuba's my party.
That's my trumpet.
Linus, play to me, son, play to me. Davy, not
Thank you.